Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are really diving headfirst into one of the biggest games on the horizon for PS5, Ghost of Yōtei.
Yeah, it's got a lot of buzz. So our mission today, we're going to try and unpack what makes this one feel so, well, compelling. We've looked at the trailers, developer interviews, news clips, basically trying to get the full picture for you. We'll cover the story, the setting, the gameplay, and this really interesting angle about how it's meant to feel like you're in a classic samurai film. So yeah, buckle up. It's a story about revenge, a surprising amount of freedom for the player, and this really immersive experience. Okay, so let's get into it. Who is Atsu? What's her deal? The game's set, what, 300 years after Ghost of Tsushima?
That's right, 1600s Japan, but way up north in Izu, modern-day Hokkaido, around Mount Yōtei. And yeah, it's a standalone sequel.
Okay, and Atsu.
Well, Atsu. She's
Yeah.
our protagonist. A lone mercenary, a Runin, actually, so a masterless samurai. And she's haunted, big time. 16 years before the game starts, her family was killed.
Yeah, and the details are pretty intense. She was left for dead, apparently pinned to a burning ginkgo tree with her own father's katana.
Whoa, okay, pinned to a burning tree. That's dark. That's a heavy origin.
Extremely. So that obviously fuels her.
Right, so is it just straight up revenge then? That's the whole drive?
Well, that's definitely the core of it initially. She's hunting the Yōtei Six. They're the ones responsible, led by this renegade samurai, Lord Saito. You've got these evocative names in the group too, like the Snake, the Oni, Kitsune.
Feels like a deadly crew.
Oh yeah. And Atsu takes on this persona, the Onryō. People in Izu think she's literally a vengeful ghost.
An Onryō, like a spirit seeking vengeance.
Exactly. And the developers kind of hinted, that the locals are half right, which is intriguing. It really speaks to her focus, her single-mindedness. She'll do anything to get the Six, even if it destroys her.
But it's not all darkness, is it? I heard something about flashbacks.
Yeah, that's a really interesting touch. Despite this brutal quest, she's driven by warm memories of her family, too. You, as the player, actually get to experience some of those happier times.
That adds a lot of depth. Keeps her human, not just a killing machine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's key because connecting it to the bigger picture, her journey isn't just about vengeance in the end. She meets people, finds unlikely allies, builds bonds she didn't expect. So it evolves into something more about healing, maybe even redemption, finding that humanity again.
Okay, so we have this really compelling character, this tragic backstory, this quest. How do we as players fit into that? Let's talk gameplay. Sucker Punch is making big claims about player freedom, more than any game they've ever made, I think was the quote, inspired by wandering samurai films.
Yeah, they're really emphasizing that. And you see it in how they're handling exploration in Izo. It's not just about following map markers. The landscape itself, grasslands, snowy mountains, wildflowers, rocky areas, it's meant to be explored organically.
So less icon chasing, more just seeing something cool and going there.
Pretty much, like pull out your spyglass, spot something interesting on the horizon, and just go. It's about your curiosity driving the experience, which feels like a step beyond typical open worlds.
I like the sound of that, and that ties into this clue system, right? How does that work? It sounds non-linear.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite clever. Instead of just getting a mission marker, you might interrogate some enemies about, say, the Oni.
Yeah?
And based on what you learn, that might lead you to a totally new area, maybe reveal a weakness or unlock a new skill or tactic related to that specific target.
Oh, interesting.
And Atsu keeps track of these leads with actual clue cards. It feels more diegetic, more involved.
So the world feels like it's genuinely reacting to what you uncover. Does it react to Atsu herself, too, as she gets more notorious?
It does. That's where the bounty system comes in. As her reputation as the Onryō grows, people get scared. A bounty gets put on her head.
Meaning tougher enemies start coming after you.
Exactly. More dangerous foes will hunt you down. But flip side is, Atsu can also take on bounties herself. Hunt down other targets. It's a way to earn resources, fund her quest. Gives you agency.
Okay, cool. So risk and reward. And are there other things to find out in the world besides the main targets and bounties, like in Tsushima?
No, yeah, definitely. They're bringing back some fan favorites, adapted for Izo. You can find altars of reflection, which seem tied to unlocking abilities. Plus, optional stuff like bamboo strike challenges for skill and relaxing hot springs, those little moments of peace amidst the chaos.
Nice. Okay, let's talk combat. You said she's a lone wolf mercenary, not strictly samurai or ninja. What does that mean for how she fights?
It means she's pragmatic, ruthless even. She'll use every advantage, every dirty trick, as the devs put it, whatever it takes to win.
And the feel of the combat, Tsushima was known for that lethal, precise feel.
They're aiming for that again, even pushing it further, trying to evoke that classic samurai movie vibe, focused on lethal precision. There's this interesting mechanic where if Atsu swings too hard, maybe wildly, she could actually lose her grip on her weapon.
Really? You can drop your sword?
Apparently so. But you can also disarm enemies if you time things right. It sounds like it demands real focus and clever tactics, not just button mashing.
Okay, so what's in her toolkit? You mentioned her father's katana.
Right, the katana is central. You can even dual-wield katanas at some point, it seems. But there's much more. She can use a spear, a kusarigama, the sickle and chain weapon,
Oh, yeah, those are cool.
and even a massive ōdachi, like a giant two-handed sword. Each weapon is apparently better against certain enemy types, and they all have unique upgrades.
So lots of variety there. What about ranged or stealth options?
Yep. Bow's back, of course, but also a gun. Which sounds powerful for distant targets, but probably noisy, right? Bad for stealth.
Makes sense.
And then you have things like kunai for quick throws, bombs, blinding powder, lots of tools for different situations. Dirty tricks, like they said.
Sounds like you can really tailor your approach. Does that extend to gear and skills too?
Absolutely. Huge emphasis on character progression. You can build Atsu towards stealth or ranged or pure melee through the armor you wear, charms you equip, gear upgrades, and you can customize the look of the armor and weapons extensively too. So your Atsu can look and play exactly how you want. Player expression seems key.
Okay, moving on from Atsu herself. Even a lone wolf finds allies sometimes, right? You mentioned she forms bonds.
She does. She won't always be fighting alone. She meets several allies throughout the story.
Including a wolf. I read something about a wolf companion.
Yes, a mysterious wolf companion.
Right.
And apparently it can get pretty vicious in combat, like tear at enemy throats.
Okay, that's definitely a step up from a horse. Intense.
Right. And these allies tie into another new system called the Wolf Pack system. This actually replaces the journal menu from Tsushima.
Oh, how does that work?
So instead of pausing and going into a menu for everything, you'll interact with your allies and vendors, maybe a traveling peddler at campsites you find. They'll catch up with Atsu there, offer you upgrades, unique items, maybe quests. It's character-driven.
That sounds much more immersive, less pulling you out of the world.
Exactly. The idea is the game sort of comes to you. You don't have to constantly fast travel back to a hub town just to upgrade your sword or buy supplies. It keeps the flow going.
Makes sense. What else happens at these campsites?
Beyond meeting people, Atsu can rest, which is probably important. She can play her shamus, that traditional Japanese instrument.
Oh, nice touch.
Yeah, and even cook food, presumably for buffs or preparation before a big fight. Adds to that feeling of living in the world, preparing for what's next.
All right, let's shift gears to the presentation. This is Sucker Punch. They have a history of making visually stunning games, like Sly Cooper back in the day and Infamous more recently.
For sure. And Ghost of Yōtei looks absolutely breathtaking from what we've seen, those northern Japanese landscapes. Just, wow. They're showing off dynamic weather, snow, rain, even auroras near Mount Yōtei. And it's all running on the PS5, so expect super fast loading times. Almost instant travel, they say.
And the sound. Tsushima's audio was incredible.
They're aiming high again. 3D spatial audio, using the Tempest engine on the PS5 to really put you in 1600s Japan. Plus, this original score by composer Toma Otowa, described as a mix of Eastern instruments and Western musical ideas. Sounds potentially amazing.
But the thing that really jumps out presentation-wise are those cinematic modes. That feels different.
Totally. It's more than just a filter. They're really leaning into the idea of letting you play inside a movie. You've got Kurosawa mode returning, that black and white style, honoring Akira Kurosawa. Ran was a big influence, apparently.
Always loved that mode. But there are new ones, too. Mic mode.
Yes, partnering with Kakashi Mike.
Yeah.
Director of 13 Assassins.
Oh, yeah. Intense stuff.
So mic mode gives you a closer camera during fights, more mud, more blood splatter, really raw and visceral feeling.
Wow. And the other one, Watanabe mode.
Right, Shinichiro Watanabe, who did Samurai Champloo. That mode adds original lo-fi tracks to the game for exploration and combat. A whole different vibe.
That's incredible. 3 distinct stylistic lenses you can play through.
Yeah.
What about language options?
Full Japanese voice track available from the start. Full lip sync too. They're calling it Samurai Cinema mode. Plus, standard English, of course. Great for authenticity seekers.
Good. And photo mode is back too, I assume.
You bet.
Yeah.
Given how gorgeous this game looks, people are going to go nuts with photo mode, capture those moments across ISO.
You can really feel the passion behind this. I heard the developers actually visited northern Japan multiple times for inspiration.
Yeah, they did. Talked about being struck by Mount Yōtei, reflecting in Lake Tuya. They even recorded actual nature sounds in Shirotoko National Park to use in the game. That's dedication.
It really shows, and it's even bleeding into real-world stuff, right? Like movie tie-ins.
Uh-huh. It's kind of crossing to that blockbuster movie territory. There's an official popcorn bucket shaped like a traditional Japanese rice bucket, which is unique.
Ah, okay.
And Alamo Drafthouse Cinemas are doing a whole Way of the Samurai film series, showing classics that inspire the game. Lady Snowblood, Lone Wolf and Cub, Satoichi, 13 Assassins, Ran. With a special themed menu, too.
Wow, so it's becoming a whole cultural event around the launch.
Pretty much. It's more than just a game release.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. Ghost of Yōtei. Sounds like it's pushing for maximum player freedom, wrapped in this really deep emotional story of vengeance turning into redemption. And visually, audibly, it's designed to be like stepping into a living samurai film. October 2nd, 2025. Mark the calendars.
Yeah, I think this deep dive really highlights how games can be, more than just entertainment. It's a love letter to cinema, to Japanese history and culture, but built around player choice. It's about the layers of immersion and how you choose to experience Atsu's story.
Which brings us to that final thought. With all these ways to customize how you play your combat style, your look, even choosing between Kurosawa, Mike, or Watanabe modes, what unique version of Atsu's Onryō's legend are you going to create? And maybe, what does that choice say about how you want to journey through Ezo?